Hello everyone. Hi, how are you doing? I hope everyone is doing good. So welcome to another video of plant growth and mineral nutrition. In this video, we will be talking about the different aspect with regards to growth of the plant. Yes. So up till now, we have been discussing the growth of the plant with respect to hormones. So we have covered 5 hormones in the previous video: auxins, gibberellin, cytokinins, ethylene gas, and abscisic acid. So we have discussed about the role of these hormones in the growth pattern and different uses of these hormones and its application. Okay. And then we will continue what is phytochrome, which is in relation to photoperiodism, and we will also see what is vernalization. Okay, so let's begin. Directly we'll begin with defining what is photoperiodism. As you can see, it is made up of two words, photo and periodism. Okay. Photo stands here for light, okay, photons, light, and period stands for the amount of time, okay, the time period for which the light is required. But now for what we are talking about light requirement in case of plants, so here we are not talking about photosynthesis, we are talking about the response of the plants to duration of light and dark periods for flowering. For what? For flowering. Okay, so this phenomena is known as photoperiodism. So different plants have different requirement of light and dark periods for the flowers to bloom. Okay, so depending on that, you have three types. Number one is short day plants, number two is long day plants, and the next slide we'll talk about day neutral plants. Okay, very simple. You just need to know the definitions of all these three, and that's it. So short day plants, the name itself is telling you short day plants means this plant requires relatively lesser amount of sunlight for less amount of time, as you can say, in comparison to long day plants. Okay, so they will require less amount of sunlight for relatively shorter period of time. Okay, so then only they will flower. If you keep them in the sun throughout the day, chances that they will not flower. So this yellow part is telling you duration of light, blue part is telling you duration of darkness, and this dark blue with the yellow is telling you in between, during the dark period, in between flash of light is required. So in this plant you see, uh, these are all short day plants, but if you give more than the required amount, it will not flower. This is just the required amount of light in this case, so it is flowering over here. Here also, if short day plants, if this is a short day plant and if you give the required amount of light, and but in the night time you also give some flash of light, artificial light, then also it will not flower. Okay, so flower will bloom only when uninterrupted darkness exceeds critical night length. So this is about short day plants. Opposite to this is long day plants. What is long day plants? They will require more amount of sunlight for more period of time. Okay, so in this case, number one and number three, you see that it is requiring more amount of light. Okay, in only this much amount of light does not suffices, so it is not flowering. Here also, here the flash of light is okay, the plant can accommodate and then it can flower. Okay, so it will flower when the period of darkness is less than the critical night length. Okay, so comparatively they require more amount of sunlight for the plants to flower. Then you have the day neutral plants. What are day neutral plants? They don't require a specific photo period. Okay, like a specific time of darkness or specific time for of light for the flowering to be induced. So they don't require that. They can begin the flowering process in irrespective of whether they are exposed to light or darkness. So they can flower independent of the light and dark period. Okay. So here this table gives you a summary of all actually. So here we will focus this last, day neutral plants. So roses are actually day neutral plants. They do not have any specific period. So if you give less amount of light also, then also they will flower. If you give more amount of light, then also they will flower. Okay. So day neutral plants. That is why the name is day neutral plant. Long day plants. Example is iris. An iris is a long day plant that is stimulated by short nights to flower in the early summer. And short day plants, goldenrod is one of the example. It is a short day plant that is stimulated by long nights to flower in the fall. So here, short day plants, they require more period of darker period. So you can also in terms of dark period, you can define the short day plants and long day plants. Okay, long day plants means what? They will require shorter nights for them to flower. Long day, short day plants means what? They will require longer nights. They will require longer nights to flower. So it can be defined in both terms, either in terms of dark periods or light periods. This is another table giving you definition and examples. So long day, when days are longest and nights are shortest, then flowering will happen. Example, radishes, spinach, lettuce. Short day, usually when days are shorter and nights are longer. So flowers in the spring, late summer, autumn, when days are shorter. So during these season, the days are comparatively shorter, nights are longer. Then at that in those season, these short day plants will flower. Poisontheas, then chrysanthemum, asters are some of the example. Then day neutral without regard to any day length. So they will flower in spite of whether they are having long days or short days, etc. You have roses, you have tomatoes, you have dandelions, etc. So you need to know the definition of each of these three types of photoperiodism, and examples are very, very important. Okay? So these are the examples of angiosperm. You have other examples also mentioned in your textbook. Make a note of it and try to memorize it. Right? Now we move to the small topic, next topic, phytochrome, wherein this topic is basically related to photoperiodism, related as in photoperiodism and phytochrome are interconnected. For photoperiodism or for flowering to happen, you require this pigment uh, present in the leaves to be active, phytochrome. So by looking at the name, you might be getting an idea that it's something related to a pigment. Okay. So basically, phytochrome is a pigment which is there in the leaves, and this pigment is required for flowering. Yes. So now we saw, up till now we saw, okay, sunlight or artificial light is important for flowering. In addition to that, this pigment which responds to light. So what is that thing which responds to light, long light, a longer period of light or shorter periods of light? So the molecule, the component, the thing which is responsible, which responses to light for the plant to flower is this phytochrome. Okay. So a defoliated plant will not flower even if it is exposed to proper photoperiod. A plant even with a single leaf responds to photoperiod and produces flowers. Now what do we mean by, we'll take it part by part. A defoliated plant. Defoliated plants mean almost with no leaves. All the leaves of those plants have fallen. Okay, so it's just the stem and the branches. So a plant without leaves, a defoliated plant, it will not flower. Okay, even if it is exposed to proper photoperiod. So you just take the plant or a smaller uh, tree, for example. If you take that and you expose it to sunlight, but there is not a single leaf on the plant. So the sunlight or the artificial light that you are providing will have no effect on this, only stem and branches, only stem and branches. So it will have no effect, no flowering will be induced. Okay. But if you take a plant even with a single leaf, if you take a plant and it has only one leaf on its whole trunk, then it will respond to proper photo period, whatever light or dark period you are exposing to, and it will produce flower. Why? Because this leaf is having a pigment in it. It produces a pigment which is a light receiving proteinaceous pigment. The leaves produce a light receiving proteinaceous pigment. Just give me a minute. Okay. Yeah. So these leaves are producing light receiving protein pigment. That is why if you take even a plant with a single leaf, it will respond to photoperiod, and this in turn will cause the plant to flower. Okay. This pigment is known as phytochrome, which induces flowering. So these there are two types of interconvertible forms of this pigment. One pigment receives light, absorbs light in the red light wavelength. Okay, red light wavelength, as you can see over here at the 630 nanometer, which is denoted by PR, and another form of it is absorbs light of wavelength in the range 730 nanometer, which falls in the far red light region of the visible spectrum. I hope you are aware of all the visible spectrum. You might have studied it in detail in physics in lower standard also, and in maybe 11th and 12th you will be studying in details. Okay, so two interconvertible forms of this pigment. One pigment PR receives light in the red region of the visible spectrum at 630 nanometer, and another absorbs wavelength of light at 730 nanometer. So when this PR during the daytime absorbs red light, it gets activated. So from PR, it becomes active. It becomes from inactive, it gets active, and it causes all the enzymatic breakdown or all the metabolic activities that needs to be take place, and it creates a response in the plant to do flowering. Okay, and then during night time, this active because this active pigment, okay, reverses its activeness and it goes into the inactive form. During nighttime, it absorbs light of far red light region at 730 nanometer, and from active form, it gets converted into inactive form. Okay, so this is the role of phytochrome in any plant. Right? So it is produced in the leaves of the plant. Fine. That was all about phytochrome, a short information. Now we move to another small topic of vernalization. What is vernalization? Basically, it's a technique or a process which promotes flowering at low temperature. You give a chilling treatment to the plant. You give a chilling treatment. Basically, you expose the plant to low temperatures. Okay, this process is known as vernalization. Why are you doing this? You are doing this to promote flowering. You want the plant to flower. Okay. And we know why flowering we are stressing upon over here is flowering will then lead to either fertilization if it has to form seeds, fruits with seeds, it leads to fruit formation then. So vernalization is a method of inducing early flowering in the plants by pre-treatment to their seeds at 1 to 6 degree Celsius. Okay, for 1 to 1.5 months. Yes, so you can give treatment to seeds also. You can give treatments to grown plants also. So depends. Here specifically, when we talk about vernalization in general, we are talking about giving seeds 1 to 6 degree Celsius temperature for 1 to 1.5 months. Means for approximately 2 months, you keep the seeds at this 1 to 5 degree or 6 degree Celsius. Okay, and when you sow the seed, they will when they start growing, when the seed germinates, saplings comes out, a plant grows, this plant will show early flowering as compared to their counterparts who were not given the vernalization treatment. Okay, shoot apical meristem is believed to be the site of vernalization. So, understanding the concept or reason behind this behavior of plant, it is believed that the shoot apex meristem is the place which is responsible for this vernalization, early flowering after giving chilling treatments. Okay, this is believed, this stimulus is believed to be a hormone, vernalin. Okay, so because of this treatment given, it is said that vernalin is then released at this shoot apical meristem, which then causes flowering in these particular seeds, which are treated at such low chilling temperature. One of the advantages is that it reduces vegetative growth. So the life cycle, the time which is there for the entire life cycle of the plant to take place, and then finally flowers will come and then the fruit will come. So that time period is reduced. So early flowering leads to early fruiting, and for agriculture purposes, crop purposes, so vegetative growth period is reduced and thus induces early flowering. Okay, so you can have a biennial winter variety can be converted into annual spring variety. Means certain plants which flower only twice a year in winter, you can convert it into a plant which can flower multiple times during the year, during the spring or during the year. Okay, so that's the plus point. Crops can be produced earlier, so the time is saved. Crops can be cultivated in regions where they do not grow naturally. So if a plant is facing any problem in growth and propagation, uh, naturally it is not grown. So this can be tried and crops can be cultivated in those regions. Okay. So these are the advantages of vernalization. You need to know the definition and some of the advantages. Okay. So that's all. Now, you another topic in your textbook is about mineral nutrition and toxicity. Now, this is a table, very straightforward and fact and information based table. Simply, it is talking about the list of all the minerals which are required in low quantity, low amount, micro mineral, micronutrient, which are required in more amount, less amount, and more amount, macronutrient or macro, micronutrient and macronutrient. Their role in growth of plant. If they are deficient, then what will happen to the plant? So very simple and straightforward table is there. You have to go through that table. You can just do the self study because it is very straightforward. I mean, taking it in a recorded video will take a lot of time. It will be just like them reading the mineral, the let's say chlorine, sorry, let's say zinc, for example. Then what is the effect of zinc on the plant growth in a positive way, and what happens if zinc is not available in required amount in the plant? What are the diseases that the plant will undergo? So as simple as that. Okay, and what happens if zinc is more than the required amount in that particular plant? So it might lead to toxicity also. So all that stuff is given in a table chart from 145 to 147 textbook page. This will be for your self-study. Okay, so that's all for this video. In the next video, we will be covering the last topic of this chapter regarding the nitrogen cycle and different types of nitrogen cycle, as you can see on the screen. Okay, so thank you. Take care. Bye bye. See you in the next video.